In a recent interview, you said you don't want to change him, you just want to improve him. What are the biggest improvements you have seen in his game?
His defense. Ruslan is a fighter that once the bell rings, he knows what to do. But the most important thing is improve his defense so he won't take so much punishment, to his face. Because he has sensitive skin, you can see he cuts easy. And I want him to not focus on cuts, blood, or referee having to stop the fight due to a cut. I want him to be more defensive on the way into exchange. And he's been improving a lot. On the previous camp we had, the first camp we had together, every time he sparred, he will come out of the sparring with bruises on his face, and every time. And now he's always clean because he's moving more. He's learning how to block punches, how to avoid getting hit much, and his exchanges are really good, man. He's getting inside, working the body, working the head, and now he's not just walking straight back. He's working angles. He's moving under side to side. And most of all, he didn't know how to cut the ring. Now on movers, he's preparing for everything. We got a John Molina that is a smart fighter, tough warrior, that if he wants to play safe on this fight and maintain himself outside and tries to box Ruslan to give him problems, he's going to be in trouble, But if he decides to stay in there and exchange, he's always going to be in trouble, So we're ready for whatever John Molina has to bring.
How did this relationship come to be between you and Ruslan? You've trained against him before when you trained Timothy Bradley to fight him. Did he go to you? You go to him? How did this happen?
When Ruslan Provodnikov fought Timothy Bradley, I met his manager Vadim, and one time I ran into Vadim at a show, and I told him, you know what? I'm a big fan of Ruslan, and he says, oh great, And then after that, I would ask, hey, how's Ruslan doing? So then Vadim at one point called me and says, hey, you know what? Things are not going well over here with at the Wild Card gym, and we are considering looking for a trainer, and your name is at the top of the list. Would you be interested? I said, my house is your house. But it was always between Vadim and I. I would run into Vadim at shows, at some events, and I would always ask about Ruslan. Hey, I'm a big fan of Ruslan. As a matter of fact, I've been a fan of Ruslan since he used to fight in Pachanga. At one point, no consideration of him fighting Bradley. They offered Ruslan to fight my brother Joel Diaz at the time, and we said, oh, And since then, I've been a fan of Ruslan. As a matter of fact, when they offered Ruslan for Bradley, they offered 5 fighters, and he was the last one on my list, because I knew who it was. So then Vadim, at one point, called me and says, hey, there's a possibility that, that Ruslan will fight Manny Pacquiao, because there's talks about him fighting Manny Pacquiao. So we're going to look for a trainer. Would you be interested? I said, sure. And then that never happened until one time Vadim texts me and says, hey, what would it take for you to train Ruslan? Bring him down. He goes, would you train him in LA or Big Bear? No, I have my camp here. Well, let me talk to Ruslan. And we went back and forth a couple of days until finally he says, what time Monday? And that's how they just showed up Monday to the gym, and we started working together. But everything was done through Vadim, which is his manager, who I know for a long time. And that's how, he came to the gym, and we've been together since.
What was the first day like of training camp with you two?
Wow, the first day was, it was nerve-wracking because communication, even though he always has a translator, but, trying to change him from the first day, I had to take a deep breath and stop and say, I'm not going to change him in one day. I had to improve him slowly. There's things that I don't like that he's doing, but I'm not going to try to improve 3 or 4 things in one day. I'm just going to go one at a time, And that's how I started doing it. In 1 week, we worked on one thing. The other week, we added to that. Third week, we added to those, and that's the way it went. It was just a process. But first 2-3 weeks, it was tough. And after that, he started breaking the ice. He started talking because at first, no communication whatsoever. He was very serious. And he made me nervous at once because I thought maybe he don't like it. Maybe he don't like what we're doing. Maybe he don't, maybe he's thinking this is just bullshit. But no, it was like the 4th week in camp, the first camp, when he says, I like this place. He goes, very quiet. He goes, it's 5 minutes away from the gym, from where we live. It's not like over there in LA, we drive 5 miles in 45 minutes. He goes, I like it. It's very peaceful here. And then he started making jokes. And then, okay, we started breaking the ice. And then after that, he just started coming in and, Joel, I am champion, And ever since. He went to Russia, and he would send me videos of him coming out of a sauna and just rolling in snow. And then he will get up, Joel, I am champion, like fucking crazy, He will go into the water. I mean, when it's snowing, there's a lake, and he would jump into a lake. And I mean, you could see his body steaming before he walks in the lake, and the water's like really cold. And then he will come out of the water and he go, Joel, I am champion. Like, oh shit, stuff like that. So after that, he came back, and as soon as he walked in camp, the first day, you could see like he's happy, he's talking to the kids. He gets in the ring, and if there's a kid, he'll tell him get in the ring, and he'll move with them. He'll have him punch him in the stomach, and he creates a good environment. That's the most important thing, that he creates and generates a lot of energy in the gym by just him being the way he is. Sometimes he's real serious, but he's focused. But sometimes when he's having fun, he's a very funny guy.
June 11th is John Molina Jr. is your opponent. John is the taller fighter. He has a reach advantage. What do you guys have to do to take those advantages away from him?
Well, just work with a strategy. I'm pretty sure he's not going to be the first or last taller fighter he's going to face, or a fighter that has longer reach. Look at Jiri. Even Matisse had longer reach. But everything works. Everything's a process. We practice it in the gym. We know that we cannot stay outside too long because due to the long reach. But John Molina he's a stand-up. He stands tall. He doesn't really use his reach much, but he's a tough kid. And I know Ruslan is gonna get in there. Once the bell rings, he's gonna try to get in there and make it a dogfight. Now we have to use it in a smart manner. If he's gonna get in there and try to knock John Molina out, Molina's gonna try to knock him out too. So his approach has to be the right approach, and we've been working on it. And I think he's gonna come and play on June 11th.
You mentioned Algieri and you mentioned Matisse fight. Those are the two fights that Ruslan lost because the opponents decided to box him, use the ring to their full advantage. If John decides to use that technique, use that blueprint to beat Ruslan, are you prepared to make the proper adjustments?
If he decides to box and move around, he's in trouble because we already made those adjustments. We made those adjustments in the gym by having boxers. That's one thing that I know about Ruslan way before he fought Bradley. You move on him, he gets lost. But now he's with me. Now I got to teach him how not to get lost when a fighter in front of him moves on him. Because I know that there's fighters in the future that he's going to face. They're going to try to move on him because they know how he is. But now he's not the same Ruslan anymore. Now he knows how to execute movers because we practice it in the gym. We put it in there, we put it to work, and he listens and he does really, really well. Now I can see the big improvement on him executing fighters that are moving on him fast hands and fast feet. He already knows the process, so he's ready. He's programmed for June 11th. If he decides to box, we're gonna take care of business, and if he decides to brawl, he's gonna take care of business.
How do you see this fight ending?
By knockout.
Do you have a round?
You know what? I don't think this fight is gonna go past 8 rounds. I can tell you that. For the first rounds, it's gonna be a war. One of them is gonna start fading. I'm not saying my guy. I'm not saying John Molina, but I can guarantee you this: styles make fights. These two guys hit hard. They got hearts of a lion, man. So one of them is not gonna walk out of the ring. I'm telling you.
It's arguably going to be the fight of the year between either this win or the Vargas-Salido fight. If you had to take your pick, which fight do you think will be the fight of the year?
They're both tough fights. I mean, Francisco Vargas is, to me, one of the best fighters out there, and I'm a big fan of Francisco Vargas. And Salido, you guys seen Salido, he's a tough cookie. He's always put up tough fights, and you can't underestimate that fight. It's a 50-50, man. We just gotta let the fans decide. And I think that the fans are the ones that are gonna vote for the fight of the year. And I think it's between those two fights.
Joel Diaz, best of luck to you, and thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.